Hi, this is Richie with Bonfire Energy. Wanted to give you a little bit of overview on the Bonfire KDM project currently on the Crude Funder site. Give you a little bit of a background. Bonfire Energy was engaged by Permian Lease Holdings on the very first Crude Funder portal's offering to be the operator for a well out in West Texas, which is where our primary base of operations were. They did such a good job through the offering that we were very impressed, and so we decided to put a project up and see how that goes. So we are the sponsor for this project, and it is currently offered on the Crude Funders portal. A little bit about the lease. This is a working interest offering. It's working interest in individual wells. I'm not going to go through each of these points, but the big points that I want to point out is once this is funded, these are shallow wells, so it'll be a very quick offering. About 5 months we'll be in and out and hopefully getting you checks. It's a 3 to 4 times return. And all of this can be found in the PPM. I encourage you to read the PPM, which can be found on the crudefunders.com website. A little bit about me. My name is Richie Rockwell. As I said, I was born and raised in the oil and gas business. My father was an engineer for Getty and Texaco and several other majors. He's worked on 7 different continents, so we've kind of been all over the place. I started my career in the banking industry with foreclosures and secondary note sales. And then I utilized my contact list gain there to transition more into the oil and gas finance side. I got the opportunity there to work on some wells and began to really love the actual operations side of oil and gas. So in 2013, I started my own operating company, and we operate our own shallow wells in West Texas. Our engineer has been in the oil and gas business since 1972. He is a petroleum engineer, graduated like myself from Texas A&M University. And he has served in many different continents. Interesting fact about him, he is actually one of the people on the very first fire flood team. He was one of the lead engineers on an actual fire flood that still can be read about today. Clayton here is our field operations manager. Clayton is an asset to the company. He's been in the oil and gas field for about 10 years. He's worked with Bonfire for going on 2 years now. And he is just a wealth of knowledge when it comes to completion and downhole work, and he really helps us on our efficiencies with negotiating bills, and he's basically our eyes and ears on the ground. Bonfire Energy was established, like I said, in 2013, early 2013, and our whole goal was we were built up to be a partner-centric company. I had worked in some other financial side of things and understood that sometimes the best deals aren't put out there to the investors. And we were found to treat our partners and employees with just respect. Above all, our tenet is respect. Treat others as you would want to be treated. But our major thing is to provide high-quality projects with a low-risk basis. And the way we do that is we maintain our operations in shallow oil reserves. And we drill mainly infill, and we do a lot of reworks. By staying shallow and maintaining the same formations that we rarely work in, we're able to identify technology and practices to assist us in improving production. And we just like anything else, we're a specialist in shallow oil. That's what we do. We know how to make it work. We know how to make it better. We know how to apply frac technology that has not been applied in the past. We utilize a bunch of different, even magnetic technology that's not used in anywhere else, but we know that it'll work because we've had the experience with it. This is all in the PPM. I encourage you to read it. Read it thoroughly too. But the property lease is an 85-acre lease northeast of Ozona, Texas, which is in Crockett County. The offering is for 3 wells: the KDM number 1, the KDM number 3, and the KDM number 4. KDM 1 is an existing well. What needs to be done to it is it will currently produce. It produces with a high water cut though, which is why we have the KDM number 3, which is an injection well, so that we can put the water away. The offsetting well to the KDM number 1 will do between 5 and 7 barrels a day, but it can move more fluid than the KDM number 1. What we're going to do with the 1 is right now it'll produce between 2 and 4 barrels a day, but we're going to put a bigger pump in it so that we can move more fluid, thereby making more oil. Finally, the KDM number 4, we identified it through an in-depth log analysis of the field given some of our other leases in the area. KDM number 4 is actually why we bought the lease. The KDM number 4 is completely infill to all other wells, and it's not in the same injection intervals as any other injection wells in the area, meaning we're not going to have as much water. In addition, there is an additional zone in this area and in the surrounding wells that has proven to be incredibly profitable. Although we haven't even used that zone in our analysis just because we wanted to go with what's consistent. We will be attempting to dissect that zone as well. The project offering is 250 units at $1,000 per unit. You can read all about the units and the offering and the project overview on Crude Funder's portal. We give you a detail of the revenue interest breakdown and what the difference is. The big thing I want to point out is that it's provided turnkey, meaning that you will not pay any expenses over your initial investment. Once the investment closes and there's production to the tanks, you will then be responsible for expenses, but they just come out of your revenue checks. You'll never actually have to write another check. Again, please refer to the Crude Funders portal documents to understand the difference between accredited and unaccredited. If you do feel you fit the accredited standards, though, please do make sure that you fill out the questionnaire so that you can invest a little bit more if you want to than the $5,000. Project is scheduled to close on December 11th. In the Crude Funders documents, there is some details on what we can do if it's not funded by then. We'll extend it a little bit. But if it's funded before December 11th, we'll actually close it out, pull it out, and begin the work. An interesting note to this is if it is not funded, I am going to do this myself and personally put the rest of the money up to complete these wells.